Howdy everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to take a look here. We just uploaded a short video. We'll circle back to that. This is the video that I just uploaded on my shorts section, just in case you're not following me over on shorts. I know they're all kind of the same thing, but they're also different because YouTube's like that. They have them separated. There's been a lot of changes lately on YouTube that we're going to get into in another video. But I have 39 views so far on that video. It's from some likes. It's good stuff. We're going to actually go over that trick just because. If you click on my videos and you watch my videos, you get to learn stuff. So, Red Hot Mama with the old slow hands. So let's take it slow. Here we go. Some jokers. Don't worry, the joke hasn't happened yet. But either way, let's jump into the magic. We have a card selected, because that's how all great magic tricks start. Today we're going to go with the Jack of Hearts. Are we for real? No, we're not for real. We've messed up already. Quick reset. Let's have a card selected for real this time. The Two of Spades. You got to roll with it. You got to have fun. Make sure your deck is properly set up. You could easily roll into a trick. You wouldn't even have to do this part of it. You could have just used the Jack of Hearts. This trick doesn't require the Two of Spades. So Two of Spades goes in there. We're going to cut it. Don't have to snap, but as they all say, magician's rules. We'll go through the deck and you'll see that one card is actually different. Have I magically turned a card into a different card? Well, it appears to be so. Very nice. Fairly place one card on the table. It's beautiful. Now here comes the setup for the next part of the trick. It's quite simple, really. They never say. I say it. Somebody says it. I don't know. They say don't do the same trick twice. So the Three of Clubs. Now this one is required for the trick, unfortunately. Cutting it into the pack and then going for the spread. See, I make the same mistake every single time, and I'm not supposed to do this. I'm supposed to snap before I spread the cards. But you know what? That's okay. We've already got a different color back, so let's go ahead and use that one. That's where the magic happens right there. Very nice. Now here's the little touch that I added to the end, and here's why. I feel like there's a lot of magic happening here, and obviously that's not a perfect spread. But you can get away with it depending on how far people are away. You can do a nice little spread. We've seen this move on the channel a couple of times. There's some flashing down here, but that's why you kind of just tap it in their face like that and then close it up. You can even set the deck face up as long as you don't get any cards going crazy here. We'll do a bigger breakdown here in a second. But that's going through the trick with possibly things that could go wrong. You have a beautiful card on display here. You have a beautiful blank deck idea here. The top card is definitely blank. If you did a nice fan, you could potentially even, as long as it stays even, you could even set that down there and it's a blank deck. Now we use the Two of Spades, so we came over here to the Jokers, and you can really have them zoom in there on, and you can't really see it here, but in the gray of this is a card reveal, which is the Two of Spades. So that's anytime that the deck offers this, and this right here uses all of the stuff that this deck offers for the most part. Uses the blank face card, which is, of course, my favorite magic principle. Uses the Two of Spades, which is the reveal on here. And it uses the red back of the Slowhands V1s. Okay? That's the snail and the tortoise. So now, this card is irrelevant in the sense that it doesn't matter. This is the Red Hot Mama trick, right? This is basically using a full deck of one card and then having one card of a different color in that deck. So you're going to need the whatever back is. So the front doesn't necessarily matter. You just need to make sure you have the mate from whatever deck that you're going to use. You want to make sure you have the mate there in order to do that. Otherwise, you'll need an extra card. Now, you've seen what I've called the Red Hot Daddy, which is using double cards, and it lets you do a cleanup at the end with your pocket, which is, if you want to check that out, you can go check that out here. Great. So, blank face, the Two of Spades, In the trick, I said the 2 of spades isn't necessary for the Red Hot Mama, but for the reveal, of course, it would be necessary. Now, I like this because it does the Red Hot Mama, it does the blank face, and it does the reveal at the end, which ties you back in to the deck itself. Now, is this a powerful effect? It's definitely not really a, let's say, I like it because when you do the Red Hot Mama here, you don't have to hide anything. It's already out and done. You do the blank face, and now you can pick the deck back up, and you've got all your gimmick stuff out. It's all out, and this is on the open face right here. So if you've got this here, doesn't matter if it's not if it's perfect or not perfect or not. So this is here, so you can just go ahead and pick up the deck, and you can easily take the blank face card and ditch it. It's gone right there. It's already exposed for you. So now here is where this really gets interesting, right? Because I've given you the components that you need for the Red Hot Mama, which, if you've seen the Red Hot Mama trick, you know that there's a card of a different color in there. So giving that away, I mean, you've just seen me do it at the beginning. You've seen it in another video. You've seen it if you've been exposed to Magic. Red Hot Mama is a classic. I love it. I continually come up with different ideas for it. I have at least 1 or 2 or 3 decks set up for it. This one in particular, Slowhands, is always set up for it. So what do we do here? Why is this anything special? Now, you could do a bigger ending than the card reveal on the Joker. With a blank face deck, it feels, it feels kind of small, but it does tie back into the first card. So that's the thing to consider. But the reason why it is special and unique in this particular case is because you can use this idea to help you build a stronger effect, a stronger trick. You can build a 3 trifecta, And here's how that would work. The setup is important. But it's not just the setup, it's the sequence. This is a puzzle for those of you who like puzzles. Very nice. See this here? Bottom. On top of that. So this is your bottom setup. You have your 2, this is your Red Hot Mama setup. They're on the bottom of the deck. That's a typical way to do that. Now you can rock the deck all day long with this idea. And I even love to start the idea by having a card selected from this. All you're doing is people are familiar with the swivel cut now. Just have a card selected. It doesn't even matter what it is. Queen of Diamonds. You can pick this card from anywhere. But I like doing it from here because they see this and you plop that down. Now you can do your mix and match, whatever you want to do, and now you're set to do your Red Hot Mama. Beautiful. Blank card on top, 2 of spades on top of that, and then your jokers. In order to make sure that the 2 doesn't get prematurely, if there's a close-up or something, if there's people right here, then do your reveal on the top one, so that when you break off 2 cards here and you're showing them, there's no, they're the 2 jokers. There's no reason to believe that they're any different. You can say, here are the jokers. I'm going to put them off to the side, make a little joke about them because they're jokers, what have you. Now, personally, I talk about this particular force all the time. Why? Because I like it. That's it. It's all preference. I hold the deck like this anyway. I deal the deck out like this anyway. So it's all natural for me to say, this is how I'm going to force a card. Just tell me when to stop. Beautiful. As I reach over, we lift the pack off. We show you this card. There isn't really anything else to it than that. Okay? Now, for this particular, that's called the slip force. Okay? So, make sure to cover your angles. Going for the cover. I would even advocate tossing that down, giving you a reason to set that back down here. Flip it over on the deck, because later that's going to play a role. Okay? As you flip it back over, you're just simply going to go into a cut, and that's going to come in play later as well. Now, at this point, that part of the magic's already done. You've gone in. Now you're in the Red Hot Mama. Okay? And this plays out just like the Red Hot Mama. Everything else is fine. Everything else is good. That right there, though, is what we were talking about, right? So let's say we put this back on bottom. The deck's already reset. That's all you've really done. You got your 2 here. Actually, what do we do with your... we lost it. Because we did that slip force earlier, I think. Okay. Back to set here. This card has been controlled to the top. You've done the cut to here. You've fanned the cards out. Back to here. Separate. Bringing these over here. Grabbing that like that. Exposing the 2 is all that same work. Now we should be reset. Yep, there we go. Now to reset it, we're there. Okay, and why is that important? Why do we keep going back to that? Because we want that same motion, cutting here, snapping, spreading. Spread from the center. Yeah, you want to make sure those cards put together. Square those cards up. Now you're here. This is where you were just at. And now you're getting the same turnover that you just got. That same idea. Letting it fall to here. So that when you fall to here, you have it here. Now if we were to go back, I know it seems like a lot of stuff to go back to here. Remember, this is square one. That's the square one. This is square two. Square up, square up. Expose, down. Those motions should seem very familiar, and they are. They're all very similar motions. There's a little stuff happening in there, but they're very similar. Beautiful. Now what we've done is we've set up the 3 on the bottom, and we have the 2 and the same setup on top, right? Because this card is supposedly the 2. Now here's where we enter one of the other moves that I like to do a lot, which is the swivel force, but it's really the swivel, I call it the swivel retention, because I swivel over, and as I swivel over to here, I'm doing 2 different things, but I need something important in the middle, which is I need some distraction here, because both hands are doing something fishy. So that's why I say, so they normally say, or they don't say, and I kind of mess up a little bit there, because there's always like this little back and forth in my own head, and that's part of just my persona. And so I say, they say don't do the same trick twice. Well, we got to do it here today just to prove that we can, right? So there's the 3. Now we've just exposed the 3. The part that we really have to make sure that we're getting pretty good here is that we want to make sure that we're getting a break under this card. So back to here. This, let's see here, 3 is on the bottom. Okay, here's where it gets a little fishy. I was doing a lot of talking. You're going to cut over to here, and this hand is going to be doing a pinky count, while this hand is grabbing the bottom card for the swivel. Pinky count, that's exaggerated, but there's that. Pinky count there looks pretty clean. Swiveling over, and you're just grabbing like the swivel. Doesn't matter if it's messed up here, because you're exposing the 3 to do the turnover, which we've already done 3 times now. So 3. 1, 2, 3. Got it? Now you're going to grab your break down here at the bottom as you square up the cards, and you're going to go for a cut. See that? The blank card is now on the bottom. And there's the masterpiece of the moment, because you've just hidden, you've set up your next part, and you're doing the cut because you're hiding the 3 in the pack like you did the 2 just a second ago. So now as you finish that cut to the table, you immediately go into the spread. Every single time I forget to snap the second time. I got to practice this trick more. You know what? That's okay. We've already got a different color back here, so let's go ahead and use that one. It was just right there. It was already there. You've set some distance because you did some other stuff here. Now that's set up. Now the trick could be over, and that would be the Red Hot Mama. Okay? But we're going into the second reveal, which is a blank deck. Now again, you've got some stuff here on the bottom. Overfan your hands here at the bottom. Tap it towards them. And then close it up. And then you can set that down. It's blank. We just showed it. That 2, though, we already had a 2. We turned it, and the back was different. Then we turned the front into a different one. And the 2 is actually still here, though. It's went down the drain. Now, I haven't really come up with a good ending quotation, a good ending line, dialogue for that. Because I feel like going down the drain, unless I really want to be derogatory about my own personal, this is talking about the pattern for your trick. And it's not strong for me, and this ending isn't very strong for me either. So having that reveal happen needs to have some continuity to it, which is simple of all the cards are blank. We've only got the 1 card anyway. All the other cards are, of course, these ones. So then you have to have a reason, like, well, we did have the 2, and you really don't see the other faces a whole lot. Besides flashes here and there. So saying, well, the 2, the face on that, we had to get rid of it. So there you go. You lead into some pattern of saying, well, in order to make the trick work, we actually had to get rid of the other card, the 2. You can see it there. We got rid of it down the drain. It works. It's good. And now from here is, again, as we talked about, this is on here, which you can easily, when you go to pick this up, you just grab that card in a cop, and I like the idea, again, going with the cut to finish, and now you're good. You're golden. You've got your card away from everything else. You can pack this up. You can set your jokers aside if you're not going to do any magic with them for the moment. And now that's all of the gimmick stuff. All the setup stuff is gone. Everything else in the deck is safe. So then we come back out here. 3 to do the resetup. There's that. 2 cards. 2 cards on the deck. 1 on the bottom. This goes there. This goes on top. This goes on top here. And then these go back on top, making sure that the reveal card is the top one for easier access and less chances of revealing that early. Boom, there's the Red Hot Mama with the Slowhands, and we just broke that down for you real nice. Hope you enjoyed. I mean, if you want a more in-depth tutorial of Red Hot Mama, because it is such a beautiful trick, we can go through every single stage of that and give you a couple of ideas for each and every one of those, because it's a card reveal. That's all we've talked about tricks before where the force at the beginning is really the most important move, because if you can't convince somebody of that first exchange, then you're not going to be able to get the rest of the trick off the ground. So you really have to sell that throughout the whole performance. But that first initial key is what's really going to grab them. So doing the first force, and again, you don't have to do that force, but doing that first force and then that first reveal, those things are going to be the things that you have to succeed on in order to make the trick work. Everything else will fall into place like dominoes. So, thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. I really do. Let me know if you want to see more of the breakdown of Red Hot Mama or any other trick that I've done on the channel. I will go into extreme detail and talk to you for hours and hours at a time about these tricks to give you an idea to look at it from different dimensions and angles, whether it be the puzzle side of it, the entertainment side of it, all the fun stuff. So thank you, everybody, and remember, stay positive, stay active, and stay awesome. And we'll see you in the next one. It'll be over here. Regardless of where, it's going to be over here. And don't forget to subscribe.